Okay, so we move from one to the other. I'm going to go back to Sony here, and there is a major picture that Sony announced last night, and that is um, Kraven, Kraven the Hunter. And this is one of those that's, in the Spider Verse, so to speak. Okay, this is going to be a live action. This isn't going to be animated, and it's going to be fascinating because for a number of reasons. So this comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter, and Aaron Taylor Johnson is going to be bringing bloody rated R Kraven footage, or rated R Kraven to the big screen. Kraven the Hunter leapt into action to kick off CinemaCon in Las Vegas on Thursday, with Aaron Taylor Johnson sending a video to give the first glimpse of the Sony film to cinema owners. The footage included a look at Taylor Johnson in costume, uh, including Kraven's trademark fur. Johnson, Taylor Johnson said in the video, including the footage, introducing the footage, and revealed that film will be Sony's first rated R Marvel feature. Will this be rated R? Yes, it will be rated R, said Johnson. The footage shows Kraven stopping a caravan of poachers and quickly killing the six of them, including by biting one man and spitting out part of his skin to the camera. It also reveals that the classic Spider-Man villain, the Rhino, will be in the feature, with Alyssa Naveau playing the role. In the footage, only his arm is shown, but he appears to have gray skin. Without naming the character, Naveau spoke to the Hollywood Reporter about his work in the movie last year. I only transform physically in the final moments of the movie, so it's just a classic villain role, Navarro said. It has been an interesting, complex psychology and personal history to draw upon, and the movie has a time jump in it. So the characters change a lot from the way it is in the beginning of the film. It was as much of an acting opportunity as any other film I've done. Sony and Johnson are betting big on Kraven, which one or more well-known Spider-Man villains from the comics. The studio, when announcing his casting nearly 2 years ago, touted the actor that was signed to a multi-picture deal to play the character, which debuted back in the 1964's Amazing Spider-Man number 15, where he was introduced by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Kraven is a change of pace for Johnson, who broke out in the comic book feature Kick-Ass in 2010 and had a starring role in 2015 Avengers Age of Ultron, but largely has been eschewed from his big studios features since. That started to change into a small role back in the aforementioned Christopher Nolan's Tenet, as well working in Sony's Bullet Train. J.C. Condor is directing Kraven, which is a release date of October 6th, and also stars Ariana DeBose, Fred Hutchinson, Christopher Abbott, and Russell Crowe. In the comics, Kraven is a big-time game hunter who goes after Spider-Man. He was at the center of the classics 1980s Kraven the Last Hunt, in which the villain buried Spider-Man alive, and assumed his identity. Okay, let's talk about this. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's one of those things where I think it's one of those characters that is he's unknown, right? He's unknown. And when I say unknown, unless you're in comic book lore, you really have a knowledge of the comics, you don't know him. Now, this is what he looks like in the comics, okay? And this is his fur and everything else. The fact that this is going to be rated R is a big thing. I think that what you're doing, number one, you're taking a very calculated risk because you're isolating a whole market. And that's one reason why Marvel, for what it is, okay, has been able to succeed and make billions and billions and billions of dollars, because they hold the line there. They do just enough to make it a PG-13, and that's it. When you make it rated R, okay, the only other rated R movie I can think of off the top of my head that really succeeded, that was a superhero, and I wouldn't even call this a superhero, more of a origin story, is Deadpool. But Deadpool was known, and he is comic humor and everything. This is a very dark character. And, with the footage they showed, you have Rhino in there. I mean, it's interesting, too, because here's the thing. If we go back to the article, what he said, okay, he says there's a time jump, okay? He said that the movie has a time jump in it, and so it changes a lot from the way that he is in the beginning of the film. And, okay, here's another thing to keep in mind. There's Rhino that's going to be in this. Or we see what we believe is Rhino. How is that going to play out? What do we think they're going to do with this? I mean, is Sony setting up? What are they setting up? Because they wouldn't be doing this unless they had, some sort of thing ready for Spider-Man. Could we see Kraven battle Tom Holland and Spider-Man, or Andrew Garfield, or I mean, don't forget, No Way Home made almost $2 billion, and that was partially, I mean, a lot of it was due to the emotion of the film, but you had the two guys in there that were part of this. I'm not saying they're going to be in the whole film, but could there be one? Yeah, I really do. It's a stretch, but they have to be very careful. I mean, the fact that it's coming out October 6th too is good, because it's right around that time. I'm on the fence about it, because to my knowledge, there has not been any screen testing. To my knowledge, there has been, I think that so far, they're still filming right now, Metal. So I don't think so, to answer your question. But I'll say this. Rated R movies, you have to realize that you're isolating a whole audience, whole portion of it. So there was 15 and 16 and 17-year-old kids, I won't call them kids, young adults, they can't go see this. I mean, if you're 17, you can, okay? But if you're 15 or 16, you can't do that. So that's something else. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how this is going to go. I really, really am. Anyways, guys, what do you think about Kraven the Hunter? Do you think this is a good move for them? Are you interested in seeing Kraven? How much Rhino do you think we're going to get in this? Leave your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll get back to everybody.